Japanese animation, or anime, was kind of an unknown genre for a while. However, after hits such as Astro Boy, Japanese animation became a lot more easily accessible in places such as the UK and the US, especially thanks to services such as Crunchyroll and Verve. And I personally have gotten into it a lot more recently too. I've gotten into many anime since I originally started, from My Hero Academia to Ika Musume, to Pop Team Epic to Nichijou. However, one specifically has managed to make its way to my #1 spot, and that of course would be Detective Conan. Or Case Closed if you watch the dub. The tale of the great detective Shinichi being reverted back to childhood, and his quest to regain his old body and finally confess his feelings to his childhood friend, Ran. I originally read the first volume in my school, and it piqued my interest enough to watch the anime, and oh boy am I glad I did, because this show not only has some of the most enticing mysteries I have ever seen, but a cast of characters that stole my heart very quickly. Couple this with a dry sense of humour that I love, and amazing music. This show just seemed to perfectly fit my interests. And I haven't even fully caught up. This show is nearing 1,000 episodes. And that is a daunting number, I know, but I plan to catch up one day. However, there is one thing that I have never watched. I am yet to watch a single Detective Conan movie. As of writing this opening, of course. So I am going to watch every single Detective Conan movie. Yep. All, wait. How many are there? Let me let this start real. Over 20 films. Okay. Well then. I guess I best get started as soon as possible then. With all that being said, let's begin with the one that started it all. Detective Conan, the Time Bombed Skyscraper. I must say, out of all the movies, Detective Conan the Time Bombed Skyscraper, along with another film starring a particular thief, was the film I was the most curious about. The first of the movies would have to be successful in order for there to be more. It might even have to appeal to more than just fans of the manga and anime, but the average moviegoer. So, does it succeed? Well, I will be speaking from the point of view of someone who knows and loves the original show and manga, and from my point of view, this is a perfect first movie, and a great movie overall. It's got a surprisingly large cast of characters from the show. You've got your must-haves like Conan, Ran, Kogoro, but they also had Sonoko, the Detective Boys, and even Shiadori. I think this might have even been before his anime debut, if I recall correctly. The movie starts off perfectly, basically showing us the end of an episode of the show, and then giving us a rundown of the show's story for the newcomers, telling us Conan's backstory, and even giving us a rundown of Conan's gadgets. The movie is also on a much bigger scale than the average episode, with a massive threat that puts hundreds of people in danger, unlike the usual 1 or 2 people who are murdered or kidnapped like a regular episode. The film also does a lot. Within its grand story, it's got like 4 mini-stories, and I really like that. It basically means you're watching like 4 episodes of Detective Conan that are all connected by one big story. It's cool. It even ends with one of the most intense and heart-wrenching moments in early Conan. I won't say anything more about that, though. What I will say, though, is that Ran and Shinichi's relationship is also explored a lot here. I won't say anything more, but it gets you in the feels, man. However, the film does have a few weak points, besides it being obviously a 90s anime, which, I mean, that's not the fault of it, so I'm not going to criticize it for that. The biggest problem I personally had with the film was how often characters came and went. I think the Detective Boys were in the movie for a good 10 minutes. Like, there's a part of the film where it seems like they're gonna do something, but then they cut away, have Conan do all the work, and then they just go home. It seemed like there should have been maybe a scene where they were trying to investigate what was going on, but nah, they just kind of cut away. It was very weird. For all I know, maybe they did have to cut a scene, or maybe this was just due to inexperience with writing long films. Either way, it really didn't distract me too much. But I did see the villain coming. Now, if you're a fan of the Conan anime and manga, you know that you need to pay attention to the little details and remember them, because then you feel like a smarty pants when you go, ooh, I remember that from earlier in the episode. So for someone like me who pays attention to little details, yeah, who it was going to end up being was kind of obvious. Other than those 2 gripes, I very much enjoyed it. It gave us a great story, it filled newcomers in pretty well, and they even showed a case being solved by Shinichi. I don't think we see that very often. It was just a really well put together film. I wish I could say more, but that would be getting way too spoilery for you guys to actually enjoy the film when you go and see it. So I'll try not to go too deep. But the film was a great first impression, and I can't wait to see what the other films have in store. If it wasn't obvious enough, I highly recommend it to any Conan fan or anyone who wants to get into the series. Heck, I think you'd find it entertaining if you like thrillers or detective stories or anything like that. But, of course, there are a lot more films to cover. So join me next time, where we will be discussing Detective Conan, the 14th Target.